I'm going to do a reading today. I just want to talk about sort of like tomorrow, which is quite like I feel it's quite a powerful number. It's quite a powerful number in relation to sort of creation, and obviously the number 11 is the 11th day of the 11th month tomorrow, which is a very powerful number. When you look at numerology, it's very much like 11 is like the master number, and if you see that number, it means like there's like the ascended masters or these essential beings are around, and it's a very powerful day, like to draw down like creation and draw down sort of intentions. And it also is a powerful day to uplift the Earth's energy and uplift the energy grids. I feel like I'm seeing like energy grids, golden energy grids around the Earth, and they're opening up and they're being sort of like amplified and magnified as I start to talk about this. So I know that this energy is a really important one for us to start to really tune into tomorrow and start to really sort of like, so today sort of like, you start preparing yourself, start bringing yourself in, meditate, get yourself in a situation where you're going to be open to receive this information and this understanding as you start to receive these energies for this next shift as it comes. The masters are very much around us all the time, and they're very much connecting a lot of different colors and different vibrations at the moment. The universal laws are very much connected, and I feel like you can start to look at these, like the universal law of oneness is about this divine intelligence, that we're all spiritual beings, and this source energy, this divine source that works through us and we're born of, very much connects with us and works with us, and it helps to co-create with us. And obviously, when we open our hearts and we open our energy to this, we start to co-create as a spiritual being, and this starts to happen, and we start to create reality within our lives. And this very much connects to Almora, who's the first ray, which is the blue ray, which is the infinite divine will. But the divine will needs to blend with our will, and when we start to open up to that, that's when we start to create heaven on earth, which is very much around this time. The fifth dimension is heaven on earth, but like when we're looking like creating heaven on earth is already here, because we're spiritual beings and we're walking with that spiritual light, that spiritual essence, which is the heaven on earth. The fact is that's the awakening. Once we awaken to that, we realize that, and that's the fifth dimension, and we need to start to awaken to that. You've also got the universal law of vibration, which is very much around sort of raising your vibration, raising your energy, opening your energy up to start to sort of like vibrate as a spiritual being. Again, it's connected to this universal law of oneness, where our essence is vibrating and creating. And this very much connects to, like, you could look at the second ray, which is like Lord Lanto, which is the illumination ray. It's very much a yellow colour, and this very much connects again to like the universal heart, the universal sort of the heart is like the center where we go in, and we obviously connect into that, and when we connect into that, we then connect into our essence, and we're opened up to these this source energy, and then we're obviously connected to our spirit then, and our higher self, which goes obviously directly to the source. And so we're opening up to this at the moment. You've got like the universal law of correspondence, which talks about like the inner and the outer world, that there's no separation. Again, it's like the inner world is this light, this energy that we all are, these essence beings. And when we awaken to that, then we start to create that reality. We create it, and this is where the heaven on earth is created again, because we create everything from a place within light, within our essence, within. And once we connect into that, then we're into source. And once we connect into source, then that is the creative blueprint, like the sacred blueprint that creates all reality. And once we start to connect into that, then we start to vibrate on a very different level, and we're a very higher level, a high level of vibration and frequency. And when we start to realize that, we let go, we connect into that daily, and we start to create a reality that is integrated or interlinked with that source energy, because we awaken to know that we are that source energy. We're not trying to find something. I am that energy. I am the source energy, and I am heaven on earth. I'm an expression of that. And this is what I think this fifth dimensional reality is. It's a shifting to knowing and also understanding that it's not about going anywhere or doing anything. It's about just being, and it's about being in that energy. And I think a lot of us are sort of like, we're always searching. We're searching for things, and we're searching to go places and find something when actually it's already here. The key thing is awakening to it and then allowing us to express it fully. And once we do that, then the universe works in harmony with us. And this is where the law of attraction starts to come in. You start attracting those higher frequencies, there's higher vibrations into your life, into your energy field and your energy frequency, but you also start to awaken to that within yourself, the higher energies within yourself. And so it's this ever evolving oneness, sort of like vibration, this oneness flow. The more that you become consciously aware, the more that things open up. So it's like it's never stops. It's a perpetual, like again, the universal law of perpetual transmutation is the energetic one, which is energies ever evolving, ever forming, ever changing. It never stops, and depending on what you add to that energy, you increase the vibration. You increase that energetic sort of like vibration of it, and then obviously that opens up. So it's like all reality, or all sort of realities are frequencies of vibration and energy, and depending on where your consciousness and where you're opened your energy up to, depends on what realities you can perceive. And the universal law of perpetual transmutation connects directly to Saint Germain with the violet flame that is sitting in many people's sort of energies at the moment, to try and transform and transmutate those energies, changing from one form to the next. But it's changing our vibrations and our frequencies, so that we can start to receive these higher frequencies, and become again aligned with the masters and the angels, and the universal source, but also aligned with those other realities that are on the planet at the moment. Like you've got the talking about like Telos, which is a fifth dimensional reality that they say lives in Mount Shasta, and then you talk about Shambhala, a seventh dimensional reality. They talk about all these kind of realities, but we can flow with those when we start to become open. But you have to be very peaceful, you have to be very calm, you have to be very connected, and very sort of like in tune with your own light, with your own energy and expression. And it's all about love. Is like when they talk about love, I mean, I always used to struggle with like the love thing. These self-help books that say you've got to love yourself, but it's about love to me is not necessarily a thing. It's a frequency, and this is what everything is to me. Like joy, happiness, and stuff. It's a frequency. It's a vibration. So that's what you're feeling. I think as a spiritual being, that's what you feel. You feel that connection, because when your vibration opens up, then you're opened up to the infinite source, and then you feel connected. But you don't just feel connected to yourself. You feel connected to all things and everyone, and that is like what I call universal love. It's like that oneness. It's that vibration where you open up, and it's very much around that time at this time at the moment. You've got things like the universal law of inspired action, which is about meditation. It's about going inside. It's about listening to your intuition. Again, it's about connecting to the source, higher self, and it opens up again. As I start to see this, I see like a beautiful white flower with a yellow center, and it's like a bright white flower. It's just opened up. Like, I mean, in spiritual, in spiritual sort of circles, they talk about like the great central sun, or the ascended masters talk about the great central sun, which is the source, is the source energy that we're all born from, that we're all sort of like, is what sustains us, what gives us life. And that flower's open. That's your spiritual energy opening up to that great central sun, which illuminates you. It illuminates you because it awakens you. It awakens you to your own light, your own energy, your own sort of like creative spark, and then you start to realise that you can start to move and shift things. Very much, I keep getting drawn to the angels today as well, because I'm looking, as I'm talking to you, I keep getting drawn to a box, like a card reading box on the left hand side of me. I keep getting drawn to the white feather. So I know there's lots of angels around at the moment that are starting to really, really work with us to lift those energies together. Angels come straight from the source energy, and angels they're truly about harmony and love, peace, joy, happiness. They're here in total service. They're a great sort of like example of what we should be like as human beings. This time is very much around not judgment as well, and judgment is a massive thing. I feel this very much within my own sort of energy as I start to like connect into things. Judgment sort of takes you up. It's like this. So the universal law of polarity talks about this opposites. There's a total place of absolute like unconditional love, but there's also there's another place on the opposite spectrum where you've got like hate, jealousy, greed, even to the evil, or whatever you want to say. I don't even like to use that word, because that's not a place that I even live my life in. And to me, the universal law has got polarities as an opposite to each of them. And it's very much around sort of like remaining high and not using judgment, because when you use judgment and you use fear and all that, they're again 3D realities, and that's what we're trying to dissolve at the moment. That 3D reality is what we're dissolving. We're trying to move into the fifth dimensional reality, where we're not connected to those kind of thought processes and patterns, because that's what's got us here. That's what's giving us this 3D reality, is the reflection of the planet at the moment, with the wars and the political systems and the inequality. All of that is 3D. It's very much around sort of like the I, which is very much around the singular consciousness, and it's not about that. It's about a collective consciousness, and this is what the fifth dimensional reality, and the higher spiritual realities talk about the universal law of one, which is, again, this is where you start to realize that you are connected, and actually everything you do and say has an impact, because it doesn't just impact on this planet, it impacts on all the other different realities. And when you start to realize that the infinite flow of energy between all realities and all dimensions is constant, because we're all connected, so everything we do has an effect on another energy frequency, or another reality, or another dimension. So it starts making you waken up to where your thoughts and your feelings are really, really important. I mean, first of all, start with yourself, where you start to really sort of express yourself in a higher awareness way, or a higher outcome way, where you start to use your spiritual intuition, meditate, go inside, really sit there and listen to your own higher self, your own guidance, connect into it. Also, your soul information and soul energy will come into play, and also things will be sort of come to mind that will tell you what you need to be doing as a spiritual being, and maybe the purpose and the pathway, the journey for you to be following. But as I sit here and I connect in, the main thing is many of us activating our own light frequencies and our light bodies, because that's what we're here to activate, those light frequencies, light bodies, and that light energy to shift the planet. A lot of us are here to do that. We're here there just to open ourselves up and to be like channels of that source energy, and then to live and breathe that source energy every day, embody it, walk in that light, walk in that energy, express it in everything we do, and then it will change and shift the reality. It will also awaken our brothers and sisters, the other soul beings that are on the planet. It's very much around that, and this is what will shift the third dimensional reality, and this is what we're here for, and this is what the ascended masters are bringing it down. They're opening up the energy fields, the energy grids on the planet, and it's all been opened up, and the angelic forces, well, the celestial beings, will open it up for the planet to shift. Mother Earth already knows that it's shifting into a fifth dimensional reality, and it's about us shifting with it, and we're here to help that process, because we're all interlinked, and we're here to help that. So we should be sending energy to the planet daily. We should be sending energy to each other. We should be opening our complete energy systems up to higher visions, higher awareness, higher understanding. It's also about using, if you awaken to your spiritual gifts as well and your abilities, use them in a way that's going to bring the highest outcome for other people and other beings, because each being is a being of light like you, and you're all part of the same source. Nothing's separate, nothing's disconnected, everything is connected. And this is what we need to remember. And when we start to think in those kind of terms, and we start to really think about our actions and the things that we do, and how that could impact others, and impact even things like when you day to day look about your thoughts. If you have a negative thought, recorrect it. If you have a negative emotion against somebody, recorrect it. And this isn't just against other people, this is about yourself. A lot of us have a lot of negative emotions about ourselves, and about us, how we feel about ourselves. A lot of it's about accepting, a lot of it's about self-love, and then obviously once you start to do that, then you can start to really truly give and receive. And again, this comes to the universal law of correspondence, not compensation, which they keep describing it as the tenfold sort of law, where if you give freely, you receive tenfold. And I love that process. I love that sort of perception of it, because I think the law of compensation sometimes is seen as like you reap and you sow, and it's a bit sort of it's a bit oh, if you sort of behave in this way, you're going to receive this, and it's sort of like, it feels a bit like a bit of a judgment sort of universal law, when actually if you look at it, it's a beautiful one. It's an abundant law. Brings beautiful abundance in when you start to really look at it in that way, and you start to really live your life in that way. If you give freely, you receive freely, and the universe and all energy and all spirituality dimensions around is about giving and receiving. And this is the flow of the universe. This is the cycle of the universe. And again, this is the universal law of rhythm, the cycles, which is what we're going through. And it brings us back to what I started talking about at the very beginning, which was the number 11, which is this new cycle, this new beginning, which is happening tomorrow. And there's energy that's coming in. It's a new beginning, but each moment's a new beginning. Again, this is the perpetual universal law of perpetual transmutation. Is saying that each second you can transform. Each moment you can be reborn. Each moment could be rebirth. It's just a case of how you use your energy. I mean, as I'm sitting there talking about this, my stomach is burning with energy. My heart chakra is burning with energy. I just feel like I'm really, really like flowing and just completely just like vibrating with all this beautiful energy. But it's not like bang energy. It's just like it just fills me up. I feel completely full up with this beautiful warm energy as I'm talking about this. So I know what I'm talking about has some resonance with what's going on with the planet at the moment because of how it makes me feel. If it wasn't resonating with me and if it wasn't flowing or there was no energy, I'd feel flat. I'd feel flat and I'd feel there was no energy there. But my hands are burning, my heart's bursting open, my belly's bursting open, my third eye's bursting open, my crown chakra. So I feel like I'm being like, and my throat chakra, I'm being the flow of the universe and the energy is coming through me and flowing with me. But it's not flowing with me. It's like I'm flowing with it as well, because it's like we're open. Once you're open, then you flow with it, and then you're filled up. You're filled up with all this energy and all this light, and this is what's going on at the moment. And this is why it's so important that we start to sort of live and breathe in this way, because we start to bring this really high frequency energy back to the planet, which hasn't been here for thousands of years. And this is the purpose of it. This is what we're doing now. That's the insight for today.